Every great transformation begins with a moment of awakening, and that moment is happening right now as you listen, because your life is not a chain of accidents, but a script written quietly in the theater of your mind, a script that has been rehearsed day after day until it became your reality. And the thrilling truth is that the same power that wrote the old story can write a brand new one starting today. For years, you may have believed that circumstances control you, that your past mistakes or family patterns have locked you into a destiny you never chose. Yet the ancient law behind every miracle insists that character is fate, and that what you consistently think, feel, and accept as true must harden into form. The 21-day game is not a challenge of willpower, but an invitation to become the author of your inner narrative, to notice the invisible words you have been speaking to yourself, and to gently replace them with declarations of power, abundance, health, and freedom. Each morning, you awaken with a blank page, but most people unknowingly copy yesterday's fears onto today's possibilities, wondering why nothing changes, when the answer has been whispering all along that imagination is the only workshop in which destiny is crafted. As you step into this journey, you will discover that every belief you hold is like a seed planted in the deep soil of consciousness, and the harvest cannot be avoided because the law of assumption never sleeps and never judges, it only reflects. You are not here to fight your life, but to understand it, not to wrestle with shadows, but to turn on the light, and the moment you decide that the script of poverty, delay, self-doubt, or disappointment is no longer acceptable, the universe is compelled to reorganize around that decision. The next 21 days are sacred, not because of superstition, but because repetition engraves truth upon the subconscious, and when the subconscious accepts a new idea, it carries it out with mechanical obedience, dissolving obstacles that once seemed immovable. Imagine the quiet power of choosing a single dominant assumption and guarding it as a priceless jewel, repeating it when the world contradicts you, trusting it when logic scoffs, and nurturing it when impatience tries to steal your faith. This is the discipline of the new character you are building, a character who refuses to rehearse loss, who will not speak defeat, who treats every setback as a passing cloud rather than a permanent climate. The transformation does not require dramatic rituals or expensive tools, it only requires loyalty to your chosen inner script. For when the mind is faithful, the outer world has no choice but to follow. You will notice subtle changes at first, perhaps a lighter mood, an unexpected opportunity, a door opening where a wall once stood, and these signs are not coincidences, but confirmations that the pen has shifted hands and the story is rewriting itself. Today is day one of your return to authority, the day you stop being a character in someone else's story and begin becoming the conscious author of your own unfolding miracle. As the days pass and you continue the 21-day game, a strange and powerful tension will begin to rise within you, because the old script does not surrender quietly, and the mind that has been trained for years to expect struggle will test your commitment with subtle doubts and emotional storms. This is the hidden battlefield that most people abandon, not because the law has failed, but because the subconscious is releasing its buried patterns like shadows stirred by new light. And in this stage, the greatest temptation is to believe that nothing is happening, when in truth, everything is rearranging beneath the surface. You may find yourself confronted by situations that look like proof of your former limitations, a bill arriving, a relationship straining, a project stalling, and this is the precise moment when suspense enters your story, because the universe always challenges a new assumption before it crowns it. The old voice will whisper that the 21-day game is foolish, that imagination cannot change solid facts, that your destiny is already written in stone, yet the law of assumption calmly insists that what you persist in feeling as true must replace what you once accepted. The suspense deepens because you are standing between two worlds, the visible world shaped by yesterday's thoughts and the invisible world forming from today's faith, and the gap between them can feel like a lonely void where nothing seems secure. It is here that you discover the sacred art of spiritual daring, the choice to remain loyal to your new inner script, even when the evidence contradicts you, to persist in the feeling of success, health, love, or abundance, while the senses offer you their outdated report. This loyalty is not denial, but command, not fantasy, but creation, and it is the moment when the invisible becomes more real to you than the visible. Every repetition of your chosen assumption during this stage is like hammering a golden nail into the foundation of your new life, fastening your destiny to a higher pattern, yet the world may still appear unchanged, creating a dramatic pause that tests your patience. Many people quit here because they mistake the pause for failure, not realizing that suspense is the hallmark of every great transformation, the silence before the symphony, the darkness before the curtain rises. The very discomfort you feel is evidence that the old self is losing authority, for it cannot coexist with the new character you are forming, and so it makes a final performance to frighten you back into obedience. Instead of retreating, this is the time to intensify your inner speech, to revise the day before sleep, to imagine scenes that imply your desire is already fulfilled, and to carry these impressions into rest, where the subconscious performs its most obedient work. You are not waiting for destiny to arrive, you are instructing it, and the suspense you feel is not punishment, but proof that the law is responding. In this middle passage of the 21-day game, courage is not loud but quiet, not dramatic but steady, and it is expressed by your refusal to abandon your assumption when the plot thickens. What you persist in now will soon be reflected with surprising speed, for the universe never delays a loyal mind, it only times its gifts to match your unwavering belief. Now the final movement of your 21-day game unfolds with a clarity that once seemed impossible, because the inner character you have been shaping has quietly taken the throne and begun issuing commands that reality can no longer ignore, and this is the sacred moment when faith graduates into knowing. You may suddenly recognize that your reactions have softened, that where you once felt panic, you now feel expectation, and where you once rehearsed failure, you now instinctively assume victory. And these are the invisible signs that your destiny has been completely rewritten at the source. The outer world might still be catching up, yet the inner certainty feels like a sealed decree, and this is why miracles so often appear ordinary when they arrive, because they were decided long before they were seen. As you look back over these days, you understand that nothing magical was added to you, only something false was removed. The belief that you were a victim of circumstance rather than the sovereign of assumption. The law you have been practicing does not belong to a few gifted individuals, but to every thinking being, and it works with equal devotion for prosperity as it once did for lack, for harmony as it once did for conflict, reflecting with perfect accuracy the character you consistently express. This awareness frees you from anxiety about how or when, because you have tasted the mechanics of creation and know that results are not chased but allowed through alignment, and that once the subconscious accepts a new command, it carries it out with precision beyond human planning. Your destiny no longer feels like a distant horizon, but like a living companion, responding to your inner speech, reshaping relationships, opportunities, and conditions in ways that feel guided rather than forced. The new script you are living does not end on day 21, but becomes the template for every future chapter, for the discipline you have learned is simply the art of choosing again whenever the mind drifts back to old habits. You are not required to be perfect, only faithful, not required to suppress emotion, but to redirect it towards what you choose to become, knowing that every feeling is a signal to the law about what must appear. As the days turn into weeks and weeks into months, you will find yourself less interested in reacting to the world and more devoted to instructing it, less occupied with symptoms and more anchored in causes, because you have learned that destiny is not a reward for struggle, but a mirror of assumption. The life that unfolds from this understanding will not be free of contrast, but it will be free of fear, for you will no longer interpret obstacles as verdicts, but as passing scenes in a story whose ending you already know. This is the true rewriting of destiny, not a sudden leap into perfection, but a steady alignment with the law that never fails, and it is offered to you each morning with the same simplicity that began this journey, the choice of what you will accept as true today. If you remain loyal to your chosen script, you will watch your world arrange itself in ways that once belonged only to dreams, and you will recognize that the miracle was never outside you, but waiting patiently for your permission to act. If you are benefiting from our topics, please subscribe, like, and turn on the bell notification so you can see our new videos early.